Flushfest.
All right, well, here we go. Welcome into the show, episode 3, Flushfest Pod.
Flushfest.
We're back. Another week. We've got Brother Cub down there on the end.
We got BJ.
BJ.
We're one short though.
E-Money. Over here we got Sherwin. We're calling him Sherwin, or MT, I guess. You don't like Sherwin Williams because you think that makes you sound boring.
No, it's... Yes, it does.
Yes, it does. And then you'll notice we're missing one of our guys is down. He's got a little bit of the in and out bug.
Yeah.
A little bit of that in and out bug from the Genesis Open. Carried over. Hopefully he'll make it back soon. But thunder in more ways than one right now for that guy.
You got the thunder runs.
Yeah.
I've had that with in and out. You can walk right into a real big Texas mudslide if you're not careful with that.
It can be tough.
I mean, it's when it goes down, it's the best thing in the world.
60 seconds into episode
60
3.
seconds.
It's the best thing you could be eating at that moment.
Everybody just tuned out.
Yeah, we're gonna have to cut that out.
No,
it's not for continuity.
Hey,
it won't work.
Everyone poops. That's what I tell my kids.
Everyone
poops. Yeah. So, Colin, we miss you. Wish you were here. Sorry, buddy, but hope you get to feeling better. Mm-hmm. The show goes on. Gotta keep it going for the fans.
Did he actually? Did he test for anything? Do we know what? Is it just in and out?
Tummy bug. You're talking about Tiger or Colin?
No, Colin. Thunder.
Oh, yeah, Thunder. Well, he said tummy bug. I don't know.
Maybe the vaccine. Wait, no, I'm just kidding. We're not going to get political.
Tiger did check out early though, which was kind of a bummer. But it was also a little bit expected.
I think. Wait, if you rewind to last week's episode, I don't know if we just talked about an episode or after we got off, but I think we all made predictions. I think everybody said he wasn't going to make the cut, right? I think you said it first. You're like, he's not making the cut.
I think the argument was not that he was going to make the cut. Is he going to finish round 4, right?
Yeah.
Because the odds of him making the cut were low. And if he did make the cut, is he even going to be able to walk the course, Saturday and Sunday?
This was the joke that Sunday Red will never be.
Well, you're never going to see it on Sunday.
Well, and look, I hate.
I love
Tiger.
I love Tiger.
And listen, Tiger, longtime listener. Don't want to. We love you. You're our GOAT. But there was a comment that made me laugh. Somebody, whenever the PGA posted it, somebody called it Sunday Meds, which no. I thought was pretty funny. I can't take credit. So random Instagram commenter. But yeah, Tiger, longtime listener, we hope you get better.
And even if you don't, we still
you're still Tiger.
We still want to see you in round 1 and 2.
Still going to sell a lot of Sunday Red shirts, I bet.
Yeah, and we'll still see you, a few days in April.
It's Sunday Red.
Yeah,
so interestingly,
still haven't figured that one out.
He put an explanation for that out.
Oh, he did.
He did.
Yeah.
But the explanation was
because
one
of
those,
our podcast. He got put something out.
The explanation was one of those things where the answer makes less sense than the question. He was like, well, sun is what comes up every day. Day is when the sun is up.
Yeah.
And red is what I wear. And they were like, okay, well, all right.
Or you just wear red on Sunday.
That must have been one of those like shroom trips where they go figure out, oh, hey.
It was like a kind of a McConaughey. You know how McConaughey gives those answers and he just says them and they kind of go, that sounds good. It was like that.
I've been wearing red on Sundays for my entire career.
Sometimes you do and sometimes you do.
So I know that this Tiger came up with a good story and he tried to walk through it, but somebody has the trademark to Sunday Red, Sunday being one word. That's why it's 2 words. True story. They're going to try and make it a long story, but apparently somebody already has the name.
That guy, whoever he is.
Well, that makes more sense.
Yeah. He's missed the boats. The ship is sailed.
How much do they offer?
Nobody knows that. Nobody knows if they even contacted him. But if the guy held out, bro, you missed out. I mean,
he's like a domain squatter.
Yeah, he is.
Those are the worst.
What else would you call Sunday Red for, right? I mean, I guess you could get religious or something, but at the same time, it's Tigers.
Well, wasn't there? What was the? There's a little girl has an Instagram handle of what's that?
It's Live Golf.
Live Golf.
Yeah, her name's
Olivia Golf.
Yeah,
That's right.
Golf. She's holding it hostage.
She's like a 14 handicap. She's 12 years old.
Well, in her defense, if the Saudis need something like that, you're like, I mean, I'll give it to you. It's $50 million, you know.
I think theirs is like Live Golf Tour.
Live Golf, yeah, Live Golf Official or something.
So good. Now, the Genesis we got a text from Cub on, I think it was Sunday, and your conclusion was anybody but Patrick Cantlay.
Nobody wants to see him win.
But why?
I don't
never
get it.
understood.
Well, there's a few reasons here.
Let's hear him.
Okay.
Did he comment poorly on your slice video?
Oh no, but I do have a comment about that for later.
Right.
That raises a good question. How many PGA pros have probably seen Cub swing? I would imagine they follow Zaire and a few others.
Yeah.
Well, and every one of them
they've all
wants
seen
to wipe it out of their memory so they don't put that in the swing thought.
Yeah, they don't want to do that.
That's
But
fair.
you hate Patrick. You really don't like
Look,
him.
I don't hate anybody,
Except Patrick Cantlay.
but that face, Patrick, I'm sorry if you're listening.
Face.
Long-time listener. You just want to punch that face. It's like, dude, smile, do something. It's like,
Well, if it was about the slow play, I think a lot of people
Yeah,
have
it's
problems
the
with
slow
I
play.
think the slow play is the
That's the one.
oh, and how about the waddle over the putt for 20
Yeah,
minutes?
the
Oh,
res-
that's
the
part of the
resetting the
slow
feet.
play.
Oh,
Exactly.
oh,
Yeah.
he resets his feet, and next time you ever see Patrick Cantlay on TV, he will reset his feet and do this kind of like pad motion.
yes.
And he'll do it 7 or 8 times where he resets and kind of waddles 4 or 5 times. I know exactly what you're
Well, it
talking
says
about.
he said they talked about it at one point. He does that until he's comfortable. They're like, there's no rhyme or reason. Like you used to see, there was a video of Tiger Woods, and it was like all of his putts, and it was like legitimately like 14 seconds on the second. That was like his routine or whatever. There's no rhyme or reason to his. It's just
His
he
is
like,
just
says he
when I feel
shuffles
good.
until he's comfortable, and then,
Yeah.
he's ready to go.
It's like an OCD thing. You know, you hear about
Yeah.
like Howard Hughes or whatever.
Yeah.
You count to 7 until you are done counting. You feel good counting to 7 or whatever it is.
You know,
So
Kevin Na got a lot of heat for being slow.
Yeah.
and doing that.
He
and
was
that
doing
sort
that.
of stuff.
He was doing
and
that whiff. Remember, he would
I think he sped it
swing
up.
and then whiff.
So if y'all remember this last year, I think it was Brian Harmon won the British last year, but he would re-grip the club, like take his hands off and do this motion where he would kind of re-grip it.
Oh yeah.
But I can't remember what the number was, but they counted it and they had a counter, and it was like 21 times exactly every single shot, which is
That adds up.
incredibly annoying to watch.
Yeah.
But it's the same number. So to your point, OCD and tics and some of these guys, which makes you wonder, like, do any of us do the exact same
Oh, you
thing?
do.
I mean,
Yeah.
I go
we do.
this way before I swing.
Oh,
No,
you
not
swing.
your swing. I mean, like a pre-shot routine. Like, is it the exact same?
Every single one of you has.
Yeah, I'm sure
yours is
something.
the same. You do that kung fu thing where you're.
What's the kung fu thing?
I can't. I can demonstrate it, I guess.
Where I
Yours
drop
is-
the shoulder?
Yours, you kind of
Just go backward.
You kind of shuffle. You
Oh
move
yeah,
your
you
feet a
do
little
shuffle
bit.
your feet a little bit.
I like
Cub
to get
just-
comfortable like Patrick.
Cub just looks at the fairway and then aims. You know,
Cub gets
Just
set up.
visualize the
Cub
shot.
gets set up online and then adjusts his feet
now,
way
now
left.
Colin, who's not here, we'll get a shot of this at some point. He
Oh,
can't even defend himself, which might be a good thing. But Thunder will put the club up and down behind the ball, up and down.
He does that on the range
He
too.
does it.
I was,
Yeah,
I was
that's
helping
his
him or watching him on the range and stuff the other day,
helping him.
trying to help him. And I noticed, and he just kept like,
Yeah.
and it's not like it just kind of boop, 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 boop. Like, what are you
Maybe we
doing
need to
here?
do a counter on that and see if he does the same number of times. You all claim that I wiggle, which I think is fake
No,
news.
you do.
it's the
You
neck
wiggle
crack.
your
Yeah,
head.
you
You do.
got
You do
that.
this. You do this.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
an athletic move. You got to stay loose.
How is that an athletic move?
Hey, it works.
So
Golf
outside
swing's
of
an athletic move.
outside of the slow
Not the
play
wiggle.
in his face, why not Patrick Cantlay? What?
No, it's not the
That's
slow
just
play.
it?
Cub doesn't like his face.
The slow play
not
is
just
bad,
me.
though.
Not,
It is not just you. That is
well, you got your wish.
I said this to Thunder in the 19th hole the other day, and then on the group text, somebody texted out anybody but Patrick Cantlay. Wasn't just
Yeah,
me.
you weren't the only one.
I mean, literally everyone
You've
thinks it
been saying this for 2 years.
since I started playing golf.
I want to throw one thing out because I feel like Cantlay is low hanging fruit. Everybody hates on him, right? And he's kind of like the social media, low hanging. Everybody beats him down. Has anyone? I mean, y'all have seen the videos of Bob Doe Sports with like Xander Schauffele, right? The dude seems awesome. Xander seems like a real chum, a real man's man, right?
Yeah.
He's Patrick's best friend. So
It doesn't add up.
is Patrick that bad, or does he just need to go do some golf videos and like show his personality? Because I agree. He's sitting there with kind of,
Maybe we should have him on the show.
he's kind of got that rest and be face.
Good idea.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
Cub can talk it
yeah,
out
yeah. Cub, message him.
I want to have a putting contest with him, but I get pops.
for speed.
Yeah.
What would that solve? He'd have the same face.
No, I just want to beat him
Oh,
because he takes forever. I want to do it in half the time.
Cantlay needs to do some like YouTube golf with like the good guys or Bob Dustin or somebody,
It helps
you know,
the
like
image.
because all anybody knows is him doing that same face where he goes for 3 hours and then he does 21 waggles over the ball and it's like hit the ball. Nobody knows his personality, right?
well, this is a good question. We know Cub's answer, but is there a golfer that you will root against on the PGA Tour? I have one, but there's only one who I.
Oh, I know who yours is.
Oh, I'm interested. I
Mine's
didn't know.
not unique. If
if I
Patrick
have one.
Reed is
Yes,
leading a tournament,
I knew it was him.
will
Well,
root
I knew-
for
But he's not on the
everyone
tour
except him.
anymore.
Yeah, he's kind of a turd.
He's on live.
Hey, that's good.
He's on live.
He is a turd.
Yeah,
He's a
I don't
cheater,
root for
but
him.
beyond
But I don't have anybody that I root against.
Yeah.
I don't think.
Well-
I mean, he's a turd, but
I will say,
trying to think of who I.
You'd root against him.
yeah, but guys you root for. So the winner of Riv was Hideki, right?
Yeah.
Like, you
Love
can't
Hideki.
really hate Hideki.
No, I like it.
Like nobody can
putt.
dislike him.
Can we talk? Did you was it like 4 birdies in a row,
Oh.
3 times on that scorecard or something?
Yes.
like that? Holy
And he was throwing
moly.
darts to
He
a foot or
was.
two.
Jeez,
Can you
almighty.
imagine what that's like though to go 3 holes in a row where you put it inside 2 feet?
You know what I like to think about?
It's got to be fun.
What if you won a tournament and you were really excited because it's a big event, and then you sat down and they were going to ask you a bunch of questions in a language you don't understand a word of? Wouldn't that just be kind of a like, I got to go talk to this foreign
Well, he
person?
didn't seem. I watched his interview with Amanda Baliones.
Well, he has a
Leon.
Baliones.
Is that how you
I
pronounce
watched it. I don't. Yeah, something.
It was
like
close enough. Okay.
that. I watched that, and he was not like he's not very excited. He was basically like, yeah, I just want to keep. He kept saying, I want to keep my good play going for the Masters. He's like looking forward to the Masters already, and there wasn't a lot of excitement. It was just him, his translator, and Amanda Baliones going back and forth.
But what I'm saying is that sort of sucks the excitement out of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah,
Now,
because he can't communicate.
If you have to look at her and then look at this dude and then tell him and then he tells her, it's kind of hard.
it
to
is.
be-
Yeah. Well, and you never, and nobody can ever really fully express what they want through a translator, right? Like you try to keep it a little.
Well, how
short
much
and
is that?
choppy.
So here's the thing: when you watch it, Hideki, he'll talk. So I can't even. I don't even want to butcher what it sounds like. Let's not go there.
Please
Canceled
do it.
episode 3.
No. He'll talk for a second, but then the translator's talking for at least 20, 30 seconds longer than how what Hideki talked. So how much is he translating versus how much is he just kind of feeling out?
I wondered this
what
too.
he feels.
because
Their
that-
language is just more efficient.
Well, no, he's saying
No,
the English is what he's.
Our language is more efficient.
Yes.
Ours is longer when he's
Yeah.
when he's translating.
I think
it's,
what
but really
Evan
it-
is saying is complete reverse of what you're saying. Coach.
yeah, the
Well,
reverse.
I said both ways. So one of them was right.
Both
Okay.
things are true.
I think what he's
One was
saying
true.
is
But really, that translator in that moment has all the power.
Yeah, well, that's
Guy
he
can
could
say
say whatever, and I think he kind of does. I think for a minute he's just kind of like,
well, it's also his agent. Did you see that?
Oh,
It's his
is it?
agent
No, I didn't
and
know that.
he's the
well, that guy's the double threat.
probably a good way to set it up though, because you don't want to,
Yeah.
your agent's looking after you because he's getting a cut, and he was not going to mess it up. If you piss your translator off, then he could just go AWOL and say
So-
whatever he wants.
Has anyone ever seen, speaking of, so we're talking about translation videos, has anyone ever seen the video when Trump went and visited North Korea and he's in the DMZ zone and he's in that little, I mean, it looks like a Soviet era little hut, and he's on one side of the table, Kim Jong-un and his retinue's on the other side of the table.
Yeah,
And Trump's speaking in English, and he looks at the photographer, and it's almost like an episode of The Office. He goes, yeah, can you make sure that we all look tall, handsome, and thin? And it cuts from Trump kind of with his belly to Kim Jong-un sitting there, and, he's kind of puffy, and he's got his belly in his face. And apparently Kim Jong-un's translator translates it and says, can you make us all look tall and handsome? And left out the thin part.
Oh my gosh.
And so everybody kept laughing, saying maybe that translator just prevented nuclear war.
could have done.
So, to
their
your
own
point,
Could have done.
to your point, the translators in those situations, they have all the power.
Well, and if he keeps winning, Amanda's just going to have to start speaking some Japanese.
Maybe she should figure
She's
that
gonna
out.
need-
Well,
lessons.
and the rumor is Hideki can speak pretty good English, apparently. because he will talk
Yeah,
offline with the
his
players,
translator wasn't.
but he doesn't feel
Translating
comfortable
for
enough
her.
doing it on TV.
I guarantee you he feels comfortable enough doing it on TV and he just doesn't want to deal with it.
And that would actually be hilarious.
Power move.
Wouldn't that be the
That
truth?
would be a power
That's a
move.
power move.
But I was glad he won. I think it's great.
I like
Now-
it. He's got that pause.
Now,
He's
what
got
we
that
mentioned,
old
what we were
pause.
talking about a second before we started this was his caddy did that famous bow,
Yeah.
At Augusta.
Speaking of the Masters,
right? Because he put the flag in
Yep.
on 18. Hideki
One of
wins.
the greatest
did the
sports
bow.
moments.
They replayed it 10 million times.
Yep.
Jim Nantz was slobbering over it. But
He was
from
slobbering
now
over it this
on,
weekend too.
if, like at the Genesis, Hideki wins and the guy doesn't bow, do you think the people at Riviera are kind of like, what the hell, man?
Well, I think the funny thing was, like, the image I saw was him waiting for the other guys to finish, and he's just crisscross applesauce banging an e-cig.
yeah, no, he was
He's
ripping
not-
a vape.
Yeah,
He was
like a
ripping
vape pen. He's got a vape pen, just crisscross applesauce.
So to Barrett's
watching
point,
the guys finish.
So to Barrett's point, it's not even that he didn't bow. He's over there just chilling and getting
yeah.
stoned. Like he's, you know,
Who is the guy? I don't even know if he's still on the tour or if he's on Live. Remember the guy who with the crazy name who would roast that vape? He had the big vape, Appy Barnrat.
Appy Barnrat? Yeah,
Appy
that's-
Barnrat.
yeah.
Who would rip that homemade vape box on the course. Do you not know what I'm talking about?
No,
I know. I was
Okay.
trying to think if that's how you pronounce his name because I'm
Matt-
pretty sure we just butchered it.
No, Appy Barnrat.
No, Appy Barnrat.
Okay.
I don't know.
Yeah.
It's Kiradek, Appy Barnrat.
Oh, Kiradek, yeah.
Okay, and
He might be
Matt-
on Live actually.
Maybe he is. Matt's going to find a picture of what I'm talking about and sort of superimpose it on the thread so you can see. But he has this. I mean, you could. It's like a smoke signal, like every couple of
I
seconds.
don't remember him doing that.
It's unbelievable. He's a chimney.
There's old John Daly out there. The funniest thing I've ever seen was I was at Bethpage for was that the U.S. Open a few years ago? Or what was that? That's the,
You
the
can't remember
PGA.
if you were at the U.S. Open.
was it PGA or U.S. Open? One or the other. I don't know. It was at Bethpage.
Bethpage Black. Yeah,
Yeah.
that was PGA.
PGA,
Koepka
okay.
won it, right?
Yeah. So this was when John Daly was playing in it, and he was in a cart. He was the only player to be in a cart, little convertible cart, no top on it or whatever. So he's driving that thing, and he's just banging cigarettes, and he's got 3 just jumbo McDonald's cups in the front or whatever, and he's driving around. And I don't remember the whole, but he gets to there's a par 3 where after the par 3 you have to kind of go up a pretty big hill. And he's going, and the cart won't make it up the hill. And so everybody kind of rushes around him and helps push it up.
No
and he's kind of doing
way.
one of those like foot things.
He's doing the
getting going.
Flintstones?
It was one of the funniest moments you've ever seen in your life.
There's
Yeah,
got to
yeah.
be a video of this.
I think I got to go back. I'll go back on my
We'll
phone
put it
when
on
we
the
get done.
video. We'll
Yeah, we'll
superimpose
upload
it.
it.
It was one of the funniest moments you've ever seen in your life. It's just a bunch of McDonald's cups, him smoking a cigarette and just doing one of these, trying to get up the hill.
So that is a great segue into something we were talking about before we came on. Was Tiger? You can get medical exemptions for carts, and to Evan's point, it's not like you're got the top on. Like they give you a convertible cart, like the staff.
Classic.
Yeah.
And if you need a medical exemption, you are allowed to ride in a cart. And so what we were talking about was, would anyone on earth be upset to see Tiger ride in a cart and stay healthy for 4 days so we could watch him through the weekend?
There'd be some group of hysterical purists who wear, baggy clothes who would say it's anti-golf. But let me ask you a question. How did you get here today for this podcast? How did you arrive?
Convertible golf cart.
You drove.
I drove.
You didn't walk, right?
I didn't walk.
I drive my kids to school. I don't make them walk. Ride a golf cart. It's okay.
It's more fun.
I don't
It's more fun.
and I think, and obviously this is a big Tiger
Was
thing.
it the
'cause he
cart? Was it the cart or the in and out that got him?
Well, no. Apparently this week it was the in and out, but the last 2 or 3 withdrawals has been
In and out.
Look, if you watch Tiger, he was hitting 177 mile an hour ball speed off the tee, which means he can still carry it 300 plus. All right. So he's got the distance. We all know the dude can hit irons.
Stat over here.
No, we all know the dude can hit irons.
Mr. Stat over
The
here.
problem is if Tiger's got to walk 4 rounds, which are an average 4 or 5 miles, whatever, plus practice rounds and maybe play a pro-am, have you seen his leg?
well, and
it ain't
it's
gonna
not,
work.
It's not like walking. When we go play Royal Oaks, you can walk. I don't know how far a round of golf is, 7 miles, something, but it's
flat
reasonably
there, too.
flat. But like if you go to Augusta, you're exhausted, even as a spectator, because it's so much up and down. And if you've got a bionic leg, and a bad back, and you ate In-N-Out the day before,
Yeah,
it
there's no
doesn't-
way.
It doesn't.
My
work.
legs are sore from walking 9 holes yesterday in that little tournament.
Yeah.
It was. I mean, my legs. I mean, I can feel it. And I'm like, this is pretty sad. I was just a 9-hole.
I don't.
And I'm pushing a cart.
This-
I
I
mean,
mean-
carrying the bag.
I'm 35 and healthy. I don't walk. I ride in a cart. All right.
This might be a bad comparison, but we're in Dallas.
Probably will be.
What does this remind you of, BJ? The Mavs? Who am I thinking of? His last season.
Oh, what we
running down.
We would
the
go watch
court.
Dirk in his last season,
Oh, it's
and
like-
it was. You would go, you buy the ticket and go. I get to go see Dirk. It's his last season, and then you would watch him, and it was
The
was
way
like,
he got up and down the court, you just felt bad.
no, it was like watching a surgery. It was just
Oh.
like, oh, it's just hard to watch.
It's kind
It
of
looks
similar.
so painful.
Yeah.
Well-
it is a bad comparison.
Well,
but
It's similar.
it is.
We're not there yet.
It's similar.
We're not there yet,
Watching
but
Tiger, he is
It's-
struggling sometimes.
When you watch him, that leg, to MT's point, that video that you
It's
sent.
like it's like a
oh,
seat, dude.
just-
It's bowed
Yeah, I
out.
don't-
It doesn't look good.
Yeah,
it
it
doesn't
looks like it
work.
hurts.
Yeah, but he was in a car wreck.
Yeah, it's a little
Terrible.
different.
Apparently, he almost, they almost amputated the leg. I mean, at this point, you got to. So we, obviously we have our own apparel brand, and this is something we were talking about. Imagine the guys that started Sunday Red with Tiger, or some of the shareholders or stakeholders, or even if you're Genesis and Kia and those guys who are the big sponsors for Riviera.
He's the main.
He's the
He's the
guy. They always make the joke. He's not the needle mover. He is the needle. So the point is, think of how many sponsors, think of how many business interests as guys who own golf company. If he was with us, we would be begging him to take a cart just to survive for 4 days.
Well, yeah, you launched your brand on, was it Thursday?
Wednesday.
For Wednesday
I think it was-
before?
or
Something,
Tuesday,
the week,
Wednesday.
the
Yeah,
week
yeah, that
before
week.
the tournament. You're the host of the tournament. You launched your apparel brand, and you don't even make it through the second round. I mean, that's
and to me, it sounds like there was a big
that's
missed
tough.
opportunity to make one-legged pants for amputee golf. I mean, can you imagine cornering a market? I had a buddy one time.
We might have to edit that out.
that one we're gonna have to cut out. Matt, let's cut that
He
out.
didn't lose a leg, but he might have.
No, but
we
other
can't-
people
No,
might.
there's plenty of Instagram videos of one-legged golfers. Now, I had a buddy who lost in racquetball to a one-armed man one time, and I asked him. I said, "How? What do you mean you lost?" He had one arm. He was born with one arm, and I lost in racquetball. And I said, "How?" And he said, "It was such bullshit. He could get right up against the wall and get these angles." He was like, "I had no chance. There's no chance. No chance.
No chance. Well,
So-
you feel bad for old Tiger.
Here's the
Wish he
thing.
would have made the weekend.
Well, no. And here's
And
the
then
thing.
you got Spieth. Well, go ahead.
Well, no, I was going to say, Tiger, we know you're listening, and we want you to know we all support you riding in a golf cart. And I think the rest of
Yeah,
America does. We all want to watch you play golf.
He would
walk.
have a badass golf cart.
We
too.
do not care to
They could
watch
do a new
Tiger.
one for every tournament, like they do
Exactly.
on the matches, and just auction that damn thing off.
Look,
and
nobody
make a ton of
Put
money
the
for
Sunday
charity.
Red logo on it.
Exactly. You could put Sunday. Oh, this is a marketing opportunity.
It's a
Now,
marketing opportunity.
This is
This is why he needs us in
an
his corner.
unprepared segment, but something I would be interested to hear your thoughts on. What is the one drawback, in your opinion, of taking a golf cart, a modern golf cart in 2024?
Can I go with a question to that?
Yes.
Is it cart path only?
No.
Mm.
No.
Because
Then there is
that's
none.
a drawback.
Well,
but if there's
that's
no
a-
cart, that is
all
the
right.
most annoying
Take
thing.
that out of here.
I have one. If I'm in a cart with somebody who is, let's just say, spraying it all over the yard that day, for me,
Or a talker.
it really gets
Talk a lot.
no.
Well, I mean, someone.
No,
that's
that
annoying
doesn't
you.
bother. My point is, if I got to ride in the cart and we both tee off, and I got to drive to the right, and then they hook it to left, and then I got to go over there, and then 7 minutes later, I make it to my ball, and people are walking up on the green. I got to rush through my routine to hit because I got to catch up. Yes, that drives me nuts.
Well, here's
And this is why Michael
You-
won't drive in a car with me.
You mean like that guy over there?
And that's
I
not
told-
the call
I told-
that was
names, I'm
old
just
Cub.
saying.
That was old Cub.
I did. I had a hard, fast rule that I wouldn't ride with you after a couple times. I was like, I just can't handle it.
It's gotten better.
No. Harris's driver has gotten significantly better.
Here's the only thing that I hate about, again, with the preface of an unrestricted, non-cart path only drive around golf, is when you drive and you're going along and you drive to your ball, and then it locks up because there's a stupid GPS, Big Brother's watching, and you got to hit reverse.
That really
back
does
out of
bother
it.
you. Yeah.
I hate that.
But the beauty,
Sometimes it's in an area where you go, what is the problem? There's no
you used
problem.
to just unplug it from the
Yeah,
back.
and then I used to be able to turn the GPS
Yeah,
off.
yeah,
And you go whatever you
There's
want.
a couple of those. You can go to YouTube and find the way to
there's a
override it.
I know, but they got wise to it. It doesn't work.
Okay, so there's
but there's a lot of positives to carts too.
well,
Cooler
sure.
to carry the drinks,
Yes.
the music, all your other stuff you want to carry.
Cub has a roundtable discussion question.
I'm going to throw
That's
a little,
right.
I'm gonna,
That's
let's kick us back in with like a little ad, maybe like a little, Cub wants to do a little promotional on here. So
Well, we just don't want the listeners to forget this is all sponsored by Hammerback Golf.
That's right.
yeah. All right. Well, welcome back.
Sorry.
All right, now welcome back. Thank you.
All right. Welcome back. Hammerback Pod. We're back. Quick break.
Sponsored by Hammerback Golf.
Hammerback Golf, hammerbackgolf.com. You got polos. We got the little ad running. Look at that BJ swing right there. Just silky and smooth.
Be a
Be a
scratch.
scratch dresser. Hats, shirts, belts. Right now for the month of February, it is buy one polo, get one free.
That's right.
BOGO.
Love a good BOGO.
So, yeah. So get your hat, belt, shirt.
Two performance golf polos for $75.
That's a
Come on.
steal.
Come
It's a
on.
steal. All right.
You know,
Coob.
I went down to the pro shop today just sort of to peruse, and it kind of reminded me why we started this. Because they are all everything's $120. That's like
Expensive.
that's the deal for the same thing.
Yep. Just go online.
Maddening.
Yeah. Cub, you've got a hot sports topic?
Well, he has an opinion on the time of day.
It's an opinion thing.
Yeah.
And it's
okay.
not just a sports topic, it's a golf topic.
Golf topic. All right.
Actually, I guess it is all sports now that I think about it. Yeah. So it's very near and dear to my heart. I feel very strongly about it. I don't like to play morning golf. And by morning, I will specify this is anything before 10:30. But okay, that's when that's
Well,
no,
but technically
this is a
that's
good
morning.
point.
Technically that's morning.
But
I'll
okay,
give you
but
that.
when do fast food restaurants switch from breakfast to lunch?
Is that your measurement?
Yes, that's my
your
measurement. I
guide?
just thought of it. It's great. 10:30.
But when you say
That's
morning
it.
golf, I think of like the 8 o'clock.
8
Yeah, I'm
a.m.
thinking of like
sunrise golf.
There's dew on the ground.
I agree. Look, I disagree with Cubs take necessarily, but I do agree that 10 a.m. would be considered morning golf. You can't call that afternoon golf, right? You know?
I think 10 a.m. is a perfectly acceptable time to play golf. But I wouldn't
so-
play at 8 or
so-
9.
Cub, walk us through why you're not a morning golfer.
That's a great question, Michael. Let's see. One, I'm not loose. I have to rush and eat breakfast. I get no time on the range. I didn't get to. I literally, you don't get to have your
Can I ask you how
movement.
long does it take you to eat breakfast? And like, what are you getting for breakfast?
I don't know.
Are you like
Eggs and sausage,
breakfast
or a
tacos? Or are you going like
breakfast
full on like
tacos?
all American
Grand Slam?
grand slam like pancakes, eggs,
It
bacon?
depends on the day.
No,
Do you
I know
make-
the big reason is because you're a very punctual in one certain regard.
One certain regard. Yeah, you have your coffee, and then you boom, and then you have
hold
the
on,
rest of your day.
hold on.
and that throws that off. Yeah. I would agree. The only reason I don't like morning golf-
Thank you. We had the custodial staff come in.
Oh, thanks, guys.
Difficulties.
Yeah, so you don't like the morning.
I don't like the morning. I don't,
Well,
I don't
can't
like the
you just
feeling.
get up a little earlier and take care of that sooner?
Well, I have 2 young kids. I get up quite early.
Yeah.
Are you arguing the other side?
No, I don't. I'll play. I don't prefer morning golf. I'm not a morning person in general. And I play better in the afternoon for sure. But
I think
my
everybody
point
does.
is that if you have to get a morning round in, then I'll play a morning round.
I've done it.
Like out in, play out in California or in Truckee or whatever. Like it's you can play it early because your body's on a different timer, I guess. But you also got to get stuff done in the afternoon. You got like events and family stuff in the afternoon.
So this is,
Yes.
Harris and I have talked about this before, which is the crowd that is, let's get the 8 a.m. tee time so we have our full day.
What do you
When was the
do?
last time you played 18 holes of golf in the morning. You're like, I got a bunch of energy to do stuff in the afternoon. No, you're going home napping.
I'm going to go in the office.
You're
and get some work
tired.
done. No, you're not.
I mean, guys, you're tired. Come on.
Has anybody ever been super productive after a round of golf?
No.
Like I can't go. I see some of those
That's
guys.
the point.
Like on a Friday, you see them finishing up and they're getting in their cars, and you know they're going to the office, and you're thinking, well, I can't be productive on a Friday after I played 18 holes of golf.
Okay, you're
There's no way.
assuming they're going to the office. They're
Well,
not.
maybe.
No, you started the weekend.
Yeah,
Like, at that point.
Yeah, you're out.
Well, the reason I hate it is because I like to have a cocktail at the turn. My first one of the day. And I like that to be at a reasonable cocktail. But when you turn the
reasonable cocktail.
What's
hour.
Is
reasonable
there something
cocktail
wrong
hours?
with a man enjoying a cocktail at 8 in the
don't
morning?
you kind of feel a little bit schlubby
Well, you can't
when you come through the turn at 9:45 and I say,
That's 50-year-old.
pour me a double Johnny Red, come on. And they look at you kind of like, oh, would you like some oatmeal with that? It's breakfast. And then as you say, you finish the day and it's like, well, I can't just drink. I mean, I could, but I'm not going to drink the rest of the day and wait for 4:00 wings to come out.
Look,
That's
even
6
if you
hours
didn't
away.
even if you didn't have one at the turn, you're not trying to have a cocktail at
No.
lunch. It's
Golf is
weird.
supposed to be, you play your golf, you have your cocktail at the turn, you get loose, you win money, you lose money, whatever. You come in, you sit down, you have another cocktail, and you have some fellowship with your boys till you go home.
Yeah.
That's how God made golf. And morning golf doesn't it doesn't work.
Well, hold on. Now, some people might go ahead and start drinking. They're like, I'll take a transfusion or I'll take a Bloody Mary. Now, your drink of choice is Johnny Walker
Yeah, I
Red.
won't
So
know.
I can understand that
Yeah.
doesn't go well
pre 10 a.m. ordering, give me a double scotch on the rocks is a
little Tito's with juice.
That's
and
right.
Club soda
A
in the morning.
screwdriver,
I've done a bunch
yeah.
of those. Yeah, that always flies.
Now,
If you're gonna drink, just drink.
I've talked about this, and I don't know that anybody else really thinks about this, but I swear your best rounds of golf happen later in the afternoon. I think your body's looser.
1,000%.
I think you're moving better, and I think you'll hit the ball further and more consistent.
Let me tell you why. From a agricultural perspective, because it's not wet. The course isn't all wet. When you go in the morning, your ball's wet, the green's wet. They haven't done the holes fresh. It's just not. It's not great.
Now, but on the putting green, you don't have all the little shuffle marks around the hole.
That's true.
That's a
You
good
don't have the old men, the Walking Dead, dragging their feet around
Yeah.
the hole.
And that actually leads me by the end of the day, one of the worst rules they ever did was, you can putt with the pin in, because you know what everybody does. You're supposed to have your hand. This is the pin. You're supposed to put your hand around the pin so you don't scuff it up. You know what everybody does? They just, let me get my ball out, and they just wreck the hole is wrecked by the end of the day because they started letting people putt with the pin in.
Every time I
will
miss a
die
putt,
on that
it's
hill.
because of that.
I will die on that hill that rule should never
get
come in.
destroyed.
Because here's the problem. You play with guys now, and that one guy wants the pin in, right? Nobody else does. It's statistically the worst thing you can do is leave the pin in. It does not help.
No.
There's a reason why no pro golfers do it anymore. But so now instead of speeding up play, pull it, put it back in, pull it, put it back in. It just doubles the time on the greens. It's terrible.
Okay, wait. I have a really great hot take that's on this note. Go back to COVID golf. Y'all remember what they did?
Yeah, they put the little
foam thing?
Little foam.
Either the foam, like the
Inner
wacky
tube.
noodle,
Yeah.
whatever that. Okay,
Or
but
PVC.
I played a course one time where they put the metal.
Yeah, they lifted the cup.
Lifted the cup.
Yeah.
If you hit it, it was in. Shot my best round ever since I played golf.
Have you?
That
There was
day.
a viral video.
That was in the
some guy,
70s.
some guy just
Just banging it in
pumping
there.
putts.
Yeah.
I mean, if they miss, he was going off the green, but he's
it
like,
was hilarious.
5 birdies in a row. Let's
Straight at it. Yeah.
Well, people are going to get angry at this in the comments, but in Jones's America, when I come to power, if you are either playing as a single or over the age of 65, you are by law required to take a golf cart. Because getting stuck behind a single who is walking is, I think, one of the inner circle punishments of hell.
What if they let you?
Yeah, if they don't
through?
let you through.
Or they never do.
But they don't.
They never
when
do.
was the last time a single's like, you know what, you guys
This
go
is
ahead.
a good point.
That
You know why
doesn't
they
happen.
don't let you through? They're so oblivious to what's going on. That's why they're walking. They're just oblivious to everything.
And they don't have any
Shouldn't be
friends.
walking.
I will say, when was the last time any of y'all walked 18 holes, though, with a caddy?
It was a long time.
Last week.
Okay. Well,
Wait, by myself? Or?
no, not by yourself with a
last
caddy.
week.
I'm
It
saying
is-
like you played around a golf, you had a caddy carrying your bag.
Probably a year ago.
It is the nicest.
I will say,
nice.
we're
It's
over
great.
here saying we'd rather ride in a cart. If I could, I would walk every round, but with a caddy. I think it makes golf so much more enjoyable.
But
You play better.
Well, yeah, you have a professional.
And if you
Well,
have a
that's the
good
point.
caddy, like when we were playing it, like some of the greens are difficult to read where we were playing. And I mean, they gave us a perfect, I mean, I've made some putts that I would not have read until he was like, no,
I have
this is
the
going this way.
exact opposite.
Oh man. You get a good caddy. It is night and day changes your golf game.
But Cub didn't have your caddy experience was not great.
No,
We had
Harris,
some-
how
we had
good
some
was
awesome
when you had
caddies
your
last
caddy?
week.
Were you like pre-club aiming 60 yards left and slicing it back in the fairway? Or were we like able to
This is
play
actually
golf?
really funny.
He doesn't
So,
know how to help you if you're doing
I think
that.
I think I was like a 10 handicap at the time.
Okay,
It
all right, so
wasn't
we're getting
much
down
different than now, but it was really funny. The caddy told I was sitting in the middle of the fairway, hit a drive somehow in the fairway, and the caddy goes, "All right, you're about 175 to the middle of the green. I like a little 7-iron, just baby fade right over the see that sand trap right there." And I go, I'm a 10 handicap. Like, I'll do my best. Like, what are you talking? He's telling me how to hit a shot like I'm a pro. And I'm like, what are you talking about?
Yeah, but so Cub, you're not helping because he's trying to help you visualize.
Well,
aim small, miss small, bro.
Yeah.
I mean, it was just
putting-
comical. And then I go to top it and I look at my
confidence
caddy
in
and
him.
he's just like,
when we were at Dallas National, when you play with caddies who are gonna, good caddies, they watch you on the range and try to get
first
a
time
feel.
that's ever happened to me.
Yeah.
Try to get a feel for what your sort of stock 8-iron is or whatever, and they'll tell you what to hit. And they kind of go down the line. It's me and Cub and a couple of guys. They go, okay, hit a 8-iron, and he does, and then they go to Cub, and Cub's like kind of a little. I could tell you were like, why is this guy watching me?
I literally
hit?
I kept looking over my shoulder.
Like,
He's
what
still
is he
here?
do- And he would say he would
couldn't figure you out.
he would watch Harris hit a
Figure it
5-iron,
out.
and then he would kind of be like, huh. And then he would watch Harris go from 5-iron to driver, and he'd be like, oh. And then he'd watch Harris go back to 5-iron, he'd be like, huh. And then he just left after a few shots.
Please leave.
He just went to somebody else.
He just quit.
Yeah, he was
It's
like, I don't know.
just- that you know what that made me think of is Cubs looking over him like, what are you doing here? You know, in Happy Gilmore, whenever he tackles his
Yes.
caddy, he's like, the hell you doing here, punk? Harris is the guy, you take him to a super high-end exclusive club and he doesn't know how to
It
act
was
the first
great, but I
time.
remember I looked over my shoulder. I was like, "What is this guy doing? He's just watching me." I was like, "Can you please leave?" Like,
This is
I'm
private.
so uncomfortable. I'm trying to warm up.
So the best caddies are the guys that are a little bit kind of jerks, right? Like they know exactly what they're talking about. And they'll be like, hey, you're going to want to lay up here. And you're like, no, just give me the hybrid, bro. And he's like, okay. And you blow it in the water and he just kind of like gives you the look like, yeah, you're an idiot. But those are the best caddies. The guys that chirp you are the guys who've been doing it for years and they know exactly what to do.
The subtle, like, yeah, maybe you should hit this club instead of
Yeah, exactly.
And
We had
they've seen a lot. I said to a caddy one time, we played Pebble and walked with caddies. And
Yeah.
I was kind of upset. I think I told you this story. Because I was having kind of I was excited to play Pebble, and I was with my cousin who's a really good golfer, and I kind of wanted to, I practiced, for weeks ahead of time. Like, I'm going to really show up. We're going to have a fun match.
exciting round.
It was an exciting round. And I played terrible. And I was kind of griping to him. I was on like 12 or 13. And he was like, what's the matter? I said, I thought I'd play better. I really was hoping. He goes,
This course sucks.
yeah, I was like, this is bullshit. And he was like, what are you so upset about? I was like, I just, I thought I'd do better. And he goes, dude, yesterday I had 2 Chinese guys who flew in to play Pebble before they died. They have never touched a golf club, and one of them shot 148. And he goes, I had to count every single stroke and go find every ball, and I had to give him every putt. And he's like, trust me, you're doing fine.
Yeah.
It's going to be okay. But this is what they have to put. You think about caddies, and they have to put up with,
They put up with a lot
of stuff.
So we had last week, we took a little Valentine's trip, went out to wine country, played a little golf at
Well, good for
Mayakama.
you.
Mayakama?
Little Mayakama golf.
There you go. All right.
And, that's, again, sorry, we play in the mornings. I know you don't like that, Coob, but out there it feels like it's like 10 o'clock, so you're good. But, you got to get out before everybody else wants to go. So we had the same 2 caddies basically every morning. And then on the last morning, it was Super Bowl Sunday. So it was really busy. And there was only 2 of us that made it out because everybody's really hungover from the night before. So they single bagged it, and then there was we partnered up with a guy, and he had his own caddy. Well, the third caddy that we hadn't had all weekend was a real storyteller, like just a kind of a guy that was just
Wisecracks.
Just a lot of just jokes, and it was a lot to handle. And so they finished at 9, and we played a few more holes, and we were just like, so we asked the caddies, we're like, what's it like to get, when you don't get partnered with a caddy that you like? They're like, oh, it's miserable. It's the worst. Or like, so what about that? He goes, we got some guys in the caddy room that make that guy look quiet. And we're like, oh no, that would be the worst to get. Can you imagine? Because you're having to work with that guy and the whole 18 holes or whatever. And you're just, this guy's chatting your ear off, and you're just trying to make your tip. And
so at Maya Comment, is that a 4 caddy, or does everybody have their own, like at a nice club like that?
No, they double bagged for the most part.
Okay.
Are
you
just
walking,
that last
or
day.
do you have a caddy like and y'all are riding carts?
We're walking. You walk.
Oh, really?
Yeah. You can't take carts until like 2:00 in the afternoon, and we always
wait. Really?
That's why you don't play morning golf?
What's the reasoning behind that?
They just don't want carts out there typically.
All right. So you talk about caddies having stories, and they do, like especially at big clubs.
Yeah.
And one time I played, I think you've heard this story before. I played with a cat. We were in South Carolina at Palmetto Bluff, and they, the caddies wear white. It's just like Augusta, white suits, and there's no carts, and you walk the whole way, and you're going to spend 4.5 hours with this guy.
Yeah.
And you kind of get acquainted. And I started asking about himself, and he turns out he had moved to South Carolina from Latrobe, Pennsylvania, where he was a caddy at Latrobe Country Club, which was Arnold's home course. And I said, wow, you must, I bet. He said, oh yeah, I knew Arnold, blah, blah. And I said, you must have some stories. And he was like, oh, I got a ton of them. And I said, well, tell me one. And he said, well, one time Ben Roethlisberger, it's Steelers country, right? Like Ben's a big deal. He phones a friend who calls Arnold and says, hey, can Ben bring 3 guys on Sunday and come play? And Arnold's like, yeah, that sounds fine, whatever. And so Ben comes out, and the guy who was on my bag this day in South Carolina was on Ben's bag in Latrobe that day, like years ago. And he says they go out, and it's like him and a couple guys from the Steelers and assistant coach or whatever. And they go out and they play the front 9, and they're making the turn. And there's these kids, like 9 or 10-year-old kids, like 6 of them, standing near the clubhouse when they make the turn with Roethlisberger jerseys and Steelers stuff and blah, blah, blah. And they're like, can we get an autograph? And he says Ben snubs him. He's like, get those kids out of here. He's like, I don't know. And the caddy's like, oh, golly. And so they go out and they play the back 9. They finish up, and they're on 18, and it's like the clubhouse is right there. And they shake hands on 18, and they turn around, and there's Arnold at the clubhouse, like up this hill. And he said, Ben falls all over him. He's like, Mr. Palmer, you're my hero. I grew up watching you. Thank you so much. Blah, blah, blah. Like just totally profuse, praise. Yeah. Arnold's like 5'0", and Ben's like 7 feet tall. And Arnold looks up at him and he says, well, I'm glad you had a good time. He said, I understand you're not signing any autographs today. And Ben is like, how the hell do you know that? And he's like, well, it's Sunday. I kind of want to be left alone. It's my day off, blah, blah. It's the off season. And Arnold goes, well, my grandkids were really disappointed by that.
Yeah.
And he said he watched Ben go as like white as a sheet.
Yeah.
And, Arnold's looking up at him, and he goes, Arnold says, you're going to walk in that clubhouse, and they've been sitting there for 2 hours crying their eyes out, and you're going to sign every autograph until the cows come home. And I don't care if it takes you the rest of the day. And then you are never coming back here as long as you live.
Yeah.
And he said, Ben goes, yes, sir. Walks in there and signs autographs. So caddies are witnesses to all this.
They see it all.
They just see it all.
They see
right?
it all.
And a lot of times they're probably caddying for somebody pretty, a celebrity or whatever.
Yeah.
And you get to see who they really are.
I don't have like a great story, but last time I had a caddy, Obama was about, he was about 6 tee times behind us, maybe 10, I forget.
And you met him.
I did meet him on the 18 green.
Really? What
The
course?
Obama?
I didn't know this.
Pre-president or-
RTJ in Virginia. No, post.
Post. Okay.
Post
Oh, okay.
Prezi.
Nice.
But it's great. Like literally, Secret Service is all out on the golf course, just like looking for snipers and
Yeah.
whatever. It's just
Dropping balls
can you
right
imagine
on
playing
the
golf?
hazard
We've got
line.
Secret Service just spread out throughout the golf course, just looking for any.
I'm more
threat
thinking about what
that's-
the Secret Service would do to you if you banana sliced one into the next fairway and hit
I
a
walked
bomb.
over there, just to say hi.
Or
Yeah.
that could be
Strip
that would be
search
dangerous.
Yeah, it's pretty
he's
wild.
I've never met him. You have. He's apparently a very cool guy.
He's very, very nice. I really want to do an impression, but I can't.
No.
I won't try.
Don't do that.
Don't.
No, he was very nice. So we had kind of a connection. One of the guys with us knew him through a third party, and so but the Secret Service kind of came up to us at the 18 green, said, "What are you guys doing?" And it's pretty wild.
Wow.
I didn't know that. That's cool.
Met a president.
I don't think I've ever
President's Day.
actually met anybody famous on the course.
Yeah, it was pretty wild.
No. Well, I saw Barry Sanders and some other guys at a charity.
Oh,
tournament
Cub and I
once.
met someone famous one time.
Oh yeah,
We were in Truckee at
this
Schaefer's
was
Mill.
So funny.
And we were going to go out. It was just the two of us. There's never anybody there, right? And we go out, and the assistant pro comes up and says, "Hey, there's a guy who is a single, and if you want to play with him, so he doesn't have to play by himself." I said, "Yeah, bring it on. That'd be fun. Whatever." Never met him. And we walk up. He's on the putting green, and he's athletic guy, like normal looking guy. And I go, "Hey, how you doing?" And I go, "I'm Barrett Jones." And he goes, "Hey, I'm Tim." And Cub goes, "Hey, I'm Harris." And we tee off, and he's got a fabulous golf swing. We were like, "Oh, this will be fun." And I'm riding in the cart with him, never met him, don't know who he is. And we're driving along, and he's like, I said, "Where are you from?" And he's like, "Oh, all over." And I said, "What do you do?" And he was like, "I'm retired." And I said, "Well, you look like you're an athletic guy." I said, Did you play ball?" And he's like, "Yeah, played a little ball." And I go, "Where'd you play?" And he goes, I played at Notre Dame." And I was like, "Oh, wow. Did you have any aspirations
Big
of
school.
I go, "Did you have any aspirations
Didn't we Google him when we got in the car or something?
later?" I go, "Did you have any aspirations of playing pro?" He goes, "Well, I played pro."
Yeah.
And I was like, "Who is this guy?" And I Google it, and it's Tim Brown,
Heisman winner.
Heisman Trophy winner.
You did, wait,
No, had no idea.
literally
you
just got
rode
paired
in
up
a
with him.
cart.
Tim Brown.
Was this at Schaefer's Mill?
Yes.
Yeah.
You
Yes.
rode in a cart
No,
with
it
Tim
was-
Brown at Schaefer's Mill.
For 18 holes,
Yeah.
and
He was a good player.
he's
yeah.
fabulous.
Now, how old was he at Brown this time?
This was 5 years ago, 4 years ago, so he's
Probably
probably in
like
his 50s,
Young
I think.
50s, yeah.
Still absolutely
Oh,
stacked.
he looked like a specimen.
I
specimen.
feel like he's got to be older than that.
Who's
Right?
this Tiger guy? Said he played golf once.
But the whole he must have been looking at me like, who is this idiot? And then halfway around the course, I'm like, "Hey, Tim, I've got a bunch of beers in the cooler. Do you want one?" And he just goes, I don't drink. I've never had a beer. I don't do that." And I was kind of like, "Okay." And then we got to the end of the round. It was sort of like that. "Hey man, do you want to exchange numbers?" And
yeah.
he's like, "Yeah." And so I've got Tim Brown's number, but it was one of those where it's like,
Have you called him or texted him ever since then? Or-
No.
Nah.
And it was very
It's probably
clear that
changed
that was
since
not. But he does live in
We
Dallas.
should send him some Hammerback stuff.
Good idea. We could put him we could call him right
Yeah.
now, live.
See what he's up to.
Wow.
I think
so.
we should-
You got his number in your phone right now.
I do.
When you played 18
Well, he could have
holes.
changed it. I don't know.
Well, yeah.
Well, let's call him and
He
see what
also
he's doing.
could. He also could have given you a false number, but who knows?
Yeah, it's
No,
one
he's like,
digit
this guy
short.
doesn't know who I am. I'm safe.
No,
Okay.
you'll call the number. It'll be Chinese restaurant or something.
Yeah.
But
We should, it would be fun to get some caddies on here and get some stories, little caddy confessions,
Patty confession.
good idea.
Yeah. It'd be our caddies had some funny stories. They had some interesting, some of the members call them out late at night, and they got to, the members want to settle a bet, and it's like, "Hey, we need you to come out and bring 2 bottles of tequila." And they're playing like late night rounds and trying to settle bets. And
Is there lighted golf out there?
dude, I don't
How do
Glow in the dark.
know.
What, like a putting competition?
I don't know.
I think playing
It's just the
with
story they told.
playing glow in the dark balls would be so much
Oh,
fun.
they are awesome.
Have
We used to do
y'all
that up
seen-
north, do a little tribute.
So
Oh, it's so
night
dark
golf's kind of a big thing in Asia, and not even just like East Asia, Turkey and some of those places. It looks incredible. It looks so fun.
when you
Are
hit
you
that
talking
ball,
about-
it also looks a lot cooler.
I'm talking about
Yes.
like stadium
Glowing.
lights or like
Well, that's
9
different.
holes.
That's different.
And actual night golf where they like put up the stadium lights and they like light up 9 holes throughout the night. But
Like
that's
that
a
spot
big
in-
thing outside of the United States.
It is. Yeah.
I've wondered, and maybe there's an answer. Someone will,
that Phoenix
someone will
Scottsdale
give us the answer
par 3
online. But why has nobody made 18 holes made entirely of turf, like you know.
Do you know
artificial
how
grass.
much money that would cost?
Well, but okay, why haven't the Saudi,
How much a foot did it cost to turf your backyard?
quite a bit?
Elon Musk could do it.
Now imagine doing that over 200 acres.
But economies of scale and Saudi oil money, why haven't they done it?
Well, let's just get some grass.
Don't you think?
Just plant some seeds.
But don't you think that would be kind of fun to do? Like when you hit off of
All right, let's
good simulator.
Well, you know, there's that. We talk about night golf though, real quick. There is that par 3 course where they did some of that stuff before the waste management that's lit up, right? And there's
But that's grass clippings. That's actual.
Clippings. Yeah,
but that's
yeah.
actual grass.
that's actual grass. But no, I'm saying like we need something like that here in Dallas. Do we have? There's not like a lit up par 3 course that you can go play 9 to 18 holes on.
Here's one of the issues with
Be
Dallas.
awesome.
Dallas is a stickler for light pollution when you try to go get permitting.
Is that a real thing?
Is that
Yes,
real?
no, it's a
Will
real
you
thing.
just feed me some stat?
No, as
Oh, yeah,
commercial
you're a
developer,
commercial, yeah.
I can promise you that is an actual issue to build shopping centers, movie theaters. If you tried to go build a golf course and say we're going to have floodlights over 50 acres
until
all over,
10:30?
you better be out in the boonies, or if one person complains, it's going to be hard. Now,
That'd be awesome.
I will say Top Golf gets away with it, but that's one range, right? Try to do 9 or 18 holes, it's going to be hard.
Yeah.
But I do think if you
There's a lot of
pulled it
space,
off,
though.
if I do
do
think if you pulled it off, you could charge. I mean, what would you guys pay to go out at 10 p.m. at night on Friday and go drink?
When it's
It
real
wouldn't
hot,
matter.
when it's real
You-
hot in August,
you
it'd be
charge
great.
whatever you want. I'll pay
$100.
it. I'll pay it.
You know,
$100.
one of the best things about
Cubs like 50.
yeah.
45.
Do I get free drinks?
Yeah.
Is the cart included?
But that is one of the best things about courses across the country is you occasionally get a short par 3 course,
Yeah.
which is absolutely one of the most pleasurable things.
Dynamite.
Take your shoes off, get a cocktail, settle your bets, take 3 or 4 clubs
Yep.
and a putter. It's really, really, really good. There's a few really good short par 3.
Is that-
Whispering Pines has a great,
They've got a great one.
it's really good.
What's the place in? There's the one in Austin, right? Here, Cub, you live down there. What's the place called?
Oh gosh.
Yeah, they just did
Terrytown.
they just
Yeah. But did that one have lights at night?
No.
There was one in downtown,
so-
right?
well, sorry.
What's the one in
There's-
downtown? They just did like
There was like a
charity
fun
thing.
pitch and putt thing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. There's the it's connected to Peter Pan. I think the mini golf
Yeah.
course. There's a place
Yeah.
right next to it, right up Barton Springs. Yeah.
All right. You know what? This is our official notice that we're going to start crowdfunding our own
Dallas
9-hole and
needs a
DFW
par
for
3
night golf.
lit course.
So
You know, it may not be that hard. Trump started crowdfunding his appeal money and he got like $1 million in his own day.
Yeah.
I saw he launched limited edition shoes
They sold out.
for $300, and they sold that in like
Yeah.
a couple minutes.
They
or
said they're
something.
selling for $8,500 on eBay. So he might have missed the price mark.
Wow.
I think maybe we need to do a kind of a self appraisal on how we missed the boat. We didn't just make solid gold clothing.
Well,
Which is
we're
that
gonna-
what it- is that
what it is?
We
Is that
know
what
what
he's
we can do.
selling?
That.
They're
gold.
real flashy.
see it.
Yeah.
You didn't see it?
No, I haven't seen them. No.
Oh,
They basically look like old school Converses. They're just like gold plated.
with a big
They,
T
they
on
look
them.
like a men's version of the Golden Goose
Yeah,
that all
yeah,
the
they
women
do.
love. Kind of like that.
They
Sparkles,
do love
gold.
By the way, that's another part. You know, we make clothes that when you receive them in the mail, they're brand new, but
Fresh.
we could charge 10x for clothes that arrived looking like they've been, fished out of a dumpster someplace, because that's what a lot of these holes in the jeans and
Just
shoes
charge
that are
10x.
dirty.
Listen, the
It-
cost of manufacturing
Well,
is not that much
well,
different
well,
in
you
our
said it,
price and what everybody
But
else is
MT
doing,
said
all
it.
right?
MT said it best.
Doesn't it
most
cost
of it,
more to rub a hole in the jean than it does to just make the jean?
Well, MT said it
One would
best.
think.
They're selling the Zoolander derelict campaign.
Yep. The derelict. And you know what? People will pay more for that. It's incredible.
They do.
I don't understand.
Well, that's where we're going to take the brand. We're going to put holes in them. You have your nipples showing, and it's going to be a. Can you imagine, Cub?
It'd be wild.
You know what we need to do? We need to do a.
Well, hey, we do have a video of him wearing half a shirt,
It's true.
And that's
Yeah.
we ought to save that.
and we
shirt.
got it. I don't. Did you throw that away? He probably already threw that shirt
Probably
away.
disposed
Oh,
of that
yeah, you can't
evidence.
hold on.
Well, we can.
You
always
may
make
need
another
that.
one.
You're famous now. People are approaching you on the driving range.
It's true.
Oh,
You're
yeah.
famous. Did you sign
It
it?
was-
Did you sign an autograph?
I was
By the
really
way, was this
caught
at
off
Royal
guard.
Oaks? Was this like
This was.
Did you know who it was?
a member that you know?
No, I did not. He literally walked up to me. He goes, "Hey, do I know you?" I said, "I don't know." And he goes, "Were you on that TikTok video?" I was like, "Yeah, it's probably me." And he's like, "I thought that was Royal Oaks. Was that Hole 10?" I go, "Yeah, yes, it was."
Yeah.
And then we just started chatting.
Well, now
It was
you made a
great.
bud.
Look, the fame, it kind of gets to you a little bit. It's, it's a little hard to handle.
Did you pull out a Sharpie when he started talking like you were going to have to sign an autograph?
I need
and
to
then
get a
immediately
Sharpie.
put it
No,
away?
I don't have.
Yeah.
I need to
You know what
keep
you
a
need to
Sharpie
do?
on here.
You need to just have a stack of like 8x10 glossies in your truck that you
Of
just
just you holding your finish with that swing, just kind of a.
Here
pre-signed.
you go.
Here you go. Yep. That's right.
Just pass them out.
Well,
All right.
when Cub is getting approached, you
Well.
know something's going right.
Yeah.
So next week we'll have Sea Dog back, presumably.
Yeah. Hopefully Colin's back.
And
Thunder.
what do we have to? I don't know what we have to discuss next week. There's some hot topics.
No, Evan always sends out the agenda ahead of time.
Yeah.
I don't know
that's
if
a good
Evan's got it ready.
I don't have it on. I was thinking
This week, we didn't spend too much time diving into Hammerback in the business.
Oh, no. Next week's a great one because there's we got a big video. No, sorry, Cub, you're not in this one, but next week
Nice.
we're going to talk about the old Abaco Club
That's right.
and our joyous time there, barefoot,
That's right.
flow for golfing. You guys shirts off. I don't know why I wore a shirt the whole time.
Our
but I
first
did.
YouTube golf
I'll just wear a
experience.
headset. I'll just leave
Yeah,
the
you can hang
microphone
out and
at home.
comment on the
Hey.
videos, Cub.
You know what? A bunch of guys in their 30s, shirts off, dad bods, just what
Yeah.
everybody wants, right?
Dad bod golf. Even Nikki Fairways makes an appearance.
That's
you
right.
know,
Well, I remember MT said one time after the first time we did the Baker's trip, he was like, "There's nothing that makes you feel worse than bending over a putt with no shirt on
It's
because
terrible.
It's terrible.
It all falls
it funnels
forward.
down, your
It all
boobs hang
funnels.
out."
It's terrible.
You know what? I think that's why I wore a shirt for the whole Abaco
Absolutely.
thing because
It
I
is.
remember going
No.
through
There's a putting video
the
of me.
Baker's footage, and I was just like, "Oh my god, that's what I look like."
No, there
I'm
was
keeping my
Like
shirt
wearing
on.
a long sleeve shirt at the pool.
Yeah.
You're like, I'm putting this
No way.
puppy on.
You also think that after a couple days, you're like, "Man, I got a great bronze going," and then you look at the footage and you're like, "I look like I have leprosy. I'm so
Yeah.
pale."
No, it's not as flattering as you ever think it is. And especially because when you're on a trip like that, you're usually day 3 and you've pounded 50 million beers and pina coladas and
High
cheeseburgers
A lot
and
of
whatever
high
else.
nooners on
And by the
course.
way, you're a little bloated. You're not looking cut or great.
inflammation.
And you lean over that putt. And there's a video of me, and it's not great. And you lean over, and like Barrett said,
Hey man,
it falls
gravity
down,
does its
gravity
work.
pulls, and
just
you don't
gotta-
look great.
but you
It's-
just have to own it. You know, this is. I played golf here, and I didn't have my shirt
Or
on.
you just leave your shirt on.
I played
yeah,
golf here, and you didn't.
Yeah.
That's the.
And you don't have to wear a shirt because it's just one of those places.
That's right.
It's awesome.
Well, that would be a good next week a recap of the Baker's trip, which I think
right.
was an all-time
That
Hall of
was
Fame.
Baker's Bay.
Yeah.
And
Little Abaco.
Then the Abaco recap. Sands Cubs.
We tried to shoot everybody had rental clubs at Abaco. We only played one day, and we were trying to shoot a 59.
Well, Colin
From
had
the
a
tips.
Colin had a cracked driver, and Nick had a left-handed
We all-
putter.
Well, we
but
played
made it work.
we played with rusted clubs barefoot. Rental regular flex.
What was the final
And our
score?
goal was a 59. Well,
Well,
you
we
have to
can't
wait
tell
to
you
see
that,
next
can't we?
week.
Wow.
You don't know.
Because there's some excitement.
There is. It,
59 watch.
gets really close.
Pretty good. All
Comes down
right.
to the
Well, we'll have to find out next week.
Just
I tried.
Have to tune in
building
next
up
week.
The,
All right.
suspension.
Well,
Cheers,
boys,
guys.
cheers.
Week 3.
Yeah,
Cheers,
week 3.
Viewers,
Thanks for
cheers to
joining us.
everybody.
Another
Hopefully,
pod.
y'all had a cocktail while watching this as well.
Yeah, hammerback.com. Thanks to our sponsor, hammerback.com.
Absolutely.
Not High Noon. They did not sponsor this video.
Not yet.
Well, not yet. They're coming.
Maybe Zen is Zen.
Ooh, Zimbabwe.
Ooh,
We're going to be
Zinni?
sponsored by all of our favorites before this is over.
Yeah.
We're going to get them. All right. Thanks, guys.
Bye,
Love you.
guys.
Flushfest.